This is the case of a patient implanted with a CRT-T for ischemic cardiomyopathy. He was hospitalized for palpitation, then syncope, and then electrical shocks. You can see on the tracing that the episode is initially diagnosed in the VT zone and it triggers several consecutive therapies, 1 burst, 2, 3, 1 round, 2 and 3. Then these ATP sequences are non-efficient and they are followed by a first 10-joule shock. You can see here the acceleration in the VF zone, and then a second maximal output shock is delivered with probably a return to sinus rhythm. So this tracing highlights the potential pro-arrhythmic effects of the delivery of a low amplitude shock in the VT zone. On the EGM, you can see that initially there is a stable VT. This is now the redetection of the episode of VT after the 6 sequences of ATP. The next therapy is a cardioversion shock of 10 joule. Here you can see the very short duration of the charge, the end of the charge, then the confirmation and the shock is delivered. And this tracing highlights the pro-arrhythmic effect of these low amplitude shocks. Initially stable VT, and then after a shock, a very chaotic, polymorphic, very fast, you can see here the short cycles of 140 milliseconds, life-threatening ventricular arrhythmia. So this arrhythmia has now been detected in the VF zone. There is a charge of the capacitor. At the end of the charge, a maximal output shock is delivered, and you can see here the interruption of this ventricular arrhythmia. So once more, this tracing highlights the pro-arrhythmic effects of low amplitude shocks in a certain number of patients. If you are lower than the upper limit of vulnerability, then there is a risk of induction of very, very fast and life-threatening arrhythmia. This is the main limitation for programming low amplitude shocks as the first therapy in the VT zone.